Welcome back. So I did something tonight that I haven't done in a very long time. There was a time back when, and I want to say at least 4.5 years ago, when the California games would be going, I would start doing my review video before the last California game was done because I had to work in the morning. So I would be like, all right, I got to work in the morning. I've got to get this at least started. So what I did tonight was during the third period of the ridiculously late game between Chicago and San Jose, I actually did up the preview board. I did the preview video during the overtime. I did not watch the overtime of Chicago and San Jose because it didn't matter. The game has absolutely no consequence. So, yeah, I didn't. I'm saying straight up front, this is the first time I've done that in a long time because these really long ceremonies that delay games like this, I'm kind of over it. All right, so we're going to start off talking about games that weren't delayed. There's one that was, but it was only delayed by like maybe 15 minutes. All right, Anaheim and Carolina. Gibson versus Anderson in this one. John Gibson, you know what's funny? He was named as one of the top 10 goaltenders by NHL executives, and there were a lot of people that looked at that list online and they looked and furrowed their brow and they said, "Who in the world thinks John Gibson's one of the best goalies?" Since then, Gibson's been routinely saving 50 shots per game. So Ducks press are kept to the outside. Slavin's denied on a rush. Gibson holds a chance for fast. The shots are 4-1 for the Canes at 5 minutes. Svechnikov has a net feed. That's picked off. Canes, their transition game, they're shooting very prominent. This is the thing with Carolina. They got a lot of shots. They don't get nearly as many goals as you think they should. Now, whether this is the systems that are being implemented, is the players on the ice, there's something with Carolina that, and it's odd because they've got a great record, but it feels like they should score more than what they do. So, Gibson was keeping it 0-0. And then there's a shot that's held for Stahl. Shots are 13-2 for Carolina with 5.5 minutes left. The Canes press with a minute and a half left. They're kept to the outside. 22 seconds left. The Ducks get a power play. Now rolls over into the second period. The Canes finish the kill, and then they rush and they pick up where they left off. Kotkaniemi has a chance that's held. Fast fires one high on a net drive. Shots are 4-3 for the Canes at 4.5 minutes. The Canes press at 5 minutes. The Ducks go back to the power play. That leads to a shorthanded rush for Martinook. That was defended. Terry DeStrome picked off, cleared. We then had 34 seconds of 4-on-4 due to a really strong shorthanded play by Aho that draws a penalty. So everything's killed off. Shea then has a blast that's held. The Ducks are stuck at 3 shots for quite a while in that second period. Canes press with 3 minutes left, and things look good until at 16:18, Klingberg. Klingberg scores from Zegras and Strome. That must have been with 4 minutes left. At any rate, Klingberg from Zegras and Strome at 16:18, and that makes it 1-0 Anaheim. Now, what's interesting is after the second period, the shots are 35-12 combined in favor of Carolina, and Anaheim's ahead because Gibson. Third period, Canes, or 2:11 left. The Canes get a power play. Natchez fires one wide. Burns has a shot that's held. That's killed off. Now we go to the third period. Canes press at 2.5 minutes. Jarvis is robbed on a fast break. Magna fires one high on a rush. Svechnikov has a shot that's kicked aside. And then on a tic-tac-toe play, it's a one-timer. Silverberg puts it in the net from Strome and Zegras at 4:09. So twice in this game, seemingly against the flow of play, all of a sudden the Ducks have a lead 2-0. Now, that 2-goal lead doesn't last. It's a rush chance, obviously, because 13 seconds later, Kotkaniemi makes it 2-1. Slavin with the assist. So Kotkaniemi continues to play well, and he's putting up goals and points right now. Fowler then has a shot that's held as the Ducks press, but the shots are 8-2 for Carolina halfway through the period. Ducks get a power play. It turns into 1 minute and 37 seconds of 4-on-4. Terry would score, make it 3-1. Yep. Lundestrom and Fowler with the assists at 12:01. And then again, with a shot that's tipped in front, Carolina makes a 1-goal game. It's fast from Pesce and Stahl at 13:35, and then Slavin nearly ties it. Canes press with 3 minutes left. With 2:18 left, the Canes get a power play. They'd pull the goaltender with 1 minute and 40 left to make it a 6-on-4. I mean, the Ducks are running around in the zone a little bit. They don't get an empty netter, but they hold on. They win the game. Anaheim wins 3-2. They're 19-34-7 with the victory. For Carolina, 39-11-8 with the frustrating loss. 3 stars in this one: Gibson, Terry, and Fast. The shots 13-7 Carolina in the first, 22-5 Carolina in the second, 18-3 Carolina in the third. Final shots are 53-15 for Carolina. Power plays 0-3 for Anaheim, 0-4 for Carolina. The hits 11-5 Carolina. Gibson saved 51 out of 53. I think it's the third time this month he saved 50 plus shots. And I think they said it since Gump Worsley. And I want to say 65-66 was the last goalie to do this. When you're being compared to Gump Worsley and nobody's done it since Gump, that's a long time. Anderson, 12 saves on 15 shots for him. I don't really blame Freddie on this, though. It just Anaheim took advantage of opportunities, and they get a very unlikely victory. All right, next up, Boston and Vancouver. So this is such a good story. Ullmark versus Seelovs. Then there's a puck to the face on Bear the first minute. He exits, and there was a bit of a delay while they cleaned up blood off the ice. I hope Bear's okay, but I mean, it depends whether it took out teeth or if it actually hit the jaw. And I mean, if you get a broken jaw, that can be a while. Canucks get a power play. Miller whiffs on one. They cycle it. Kuzmenko had a shot that was saved. Miller would whiff on another one, too. The Canucks managed 3 shots, but it's killed off. Carlo then has a screenshot that's held. Both goalies were sharp so far. It would stay that way. Kuzmenko has a wraparound chance that's held. The shots are 9-6 Boston, halfway through the period. Canucks press with 8.5 minutes left. Garland to Besser was picked off. Nosek is then denied on a net drive. The Bruins go to the power play. Bergeron to Pastrnak is picked off, but then they score. It's Lindholm from Krejci and Hall at 17:08. It was a good cycle. Lindholm buries it. Then at 19:26 on a rush, Marchand, who would be bodied by Wes McCauley during this game, he gets a goal from DeBrusk and Bergeron and makes it 2-0 after 1 in favor of the Boston Bruins. Second period, Pettersson's denied and close. There's too many Canucks on the ice, so the Bruins get a power play. That's killed off. The shots on net at this point are 3-2 for Vancouver. Canucks press at 6.5 minutes. Foligno has a net drive. That's saved. There's a power play for the Canucks. That's killed off. The Bruins then get a power play. There's a post for Zaka. That's killed off. Canucks go back to the power play. Guess what? Yep, killed off. This is the part of the game that had all the penalties. Joshua has a net feed picked off. Beauvillier's denied. Ullmark holds on. After the second period, it's still 2-0 Boston. Third period, Bergeron has a chance that's held. Wolanin with a shot that was held as well as the Canucks press. Shots are 3-1 Vancouver at 4.5 minutes. Hall has a rush chance that's saved. There was a post for Marchand during a 2-on-1. Then the puck goes the other way, and Besser gets a goal from Garland at 7:24. So all of a sudden, Vancouver's on the board. Bruins press at 9.5 minutes. Carlo to Pastrnak. Vancouver picks that off. Goalie pull with 1:25 left, and that leads to, I want to say this is the most celebrating I've done this season, because it is. Linus Ullmark gets a goal, so I put the exclamation marks there at 19:12 to make your score 3-1. It's the first goal by a goaltender in a while. 45-8-5 now is the record for Boston. They have 95 points. I think they're going to make the playoffs. For Vancouver, 23-31-5. I don't think they're making the playoffs. 3 stars in this one: Ullmark, Seelovs, and Lindholm. Shots in this one, 20-7 Boston in the first, so Seelovs was quite good despite allowing 2 goals in the first. 10-8 Vancouver in the second, 10-7 Vancouver in the third. Final shots, 35-27 Boston. Vancouver did pretty well tonight, just it's Boston. Power plays, Boston 1 for 3, Vancouver 0 for 3. The hits, 22-15 Vancouver. Ullmark, 26 saves on 27 shots. Seelovs, 32 saves on 34 shots. This kid continues to show he's a pretty decent goaltender, and he deserves an opportunity. So I get the feeling he may just get that. All right, next up, Ottawa. The Senators in against Montreal. Ottawa's ownership of Montreal continues. They are 1 win short of a franchise record. They've won 7 in a row against Montreal. This one makes it 6. They don't play again this season. So next season they'll be looking for that 7th in a row. It's Sogard versus Montembeault. The early jump was for the Habs. The shots are 3-0 in their favor, 3.5 minutes in. Sens press at 4.5 minutes. The Habs block. Gambrell has a shot that's caught and held. Brassard has a shot that was blocked. The Habs cleared out. We get a power play for Montreal. Matheson has a shot that's saved. Sogard holds on. That's killed off, and then the Sens press, and before the period's out, Brassard opens the scoring for Ottawa from Holden and Kastelik at 15-12. Then with 2:44 left, the Habs get a power play. That's killed off. It's 1-0 Ottawa after 1. Second period, Sens press 3 minutes in, but it is Montreal that gets the first goal of the second period. It is Matheson from Barron at 4:29. It was a nice rebound that was buried by Matheson. I think that was his own rebound he buried as well. Then there's a power play for the Sens. Stützle has a net feed that's picked off. That power play's killed. And then right after that ends, Suzuki scores from Kovacevic at 8:46. So Suzuki on a nice goal scoring streak for him right now. Shots are 8-0 for Montreal, 9.5 minutes into the period, so they're doing very well. Giroux has a shot that's blockered aside. Chabot has a shot that's held. We get some pushing. Ottawa wasn't showing much, but they would get a goal. It's Pinto who's heating up again. From DeBrincat and Giroux at 13:51, the Sens then get a power play. That's killed off, but Ottawa would get some pressure after that. After 2 periods, the score's 2-2. Third period, net feed to Dodonov, near miss. The shots are 3-0 for Ottawa 3.5 minutes in. Harris has a rush chance that's saved, and then Austin Watson at 4:31 scores from Hamonic and Broussard, and at 5:18, Batherson adds one from Tkachuk. Hoffman nearly answered that one on the next shift. Habs press at 9 minutes. The Sens block him out, though, and then it's Gauthier with his first goal as the Sens scored on a 2-on-1. Wires it. Holden with the assist at 11 minutes and 57 seconds to make it 5-2. The Habs would press with 3 minutes left. They're not able to generate another goal. Your final score is 5-2 for Ottawa, who keep their very dim playoff hopes alive at 28, 26, and 4. Montreal 25, 30, and 4. Probably glad to see the last of Ottawa. Your 3 stars in this one: Broussard, Matheson, and Gauthier. Shots 9-5 Montreal in the first, 14-7 Montreal in the second, 10-9 Ottawa in the third. Final shots 32-22 for Montreal. Power plays: Ottawa 0 for 1, Montreal 0 for 3. The hits 18-12 for Ottawa. Sogard saves 30 out of 32, and Montembeault saves 17 out of 22. So a game that doesn't really have consequence right now, but who knows? Maybe. And again, I even heard it from the announcers in this one. Maybe Ottawa can go on a run. We all kind of would like to see Ottawa get in there and get into that schmozzle that we've got for that last wild card spot. I don't think it's going to happen. All right, next up, Philadelphia and against New Jersey, and this had the ceremony for the 2003 Cup winners. They even had the Stanley Cup there. So it's interesting that now the Stanley Cup's at ceremonies. This is the second one we've seen it at. We saw it at the Dustin Brown one. But this ceremony took about 15 minutes. It wasn't obnoxiously long. And, you know, it was nice to see everybody together. And the fact that Ken Danico is on the New Jersey broadcast team, and so they had New Jersey Devils up there. And again, it wasn't an obnoxious thing. I've talked before about how guys will be up in the booth and they're talking over the action. Nobody's paying attention to the game. That didn't happen in this. I thought it was really well done. So it's Ersson versus Schmid, 2 young goaltenders who both look like they're going to be regulars in the NHL next year. I felt bad for Ersson by the end of this game. I just felt so bad for him. Hughes to Sharangovich is blocked early on. Hamilton has a shot from the point that's held. There's a near miss for Mercer. Mercer stays red hot, though. Delorier's denied on what was the Flyers' first shot. 6.5 minutes in, the shots are 4-3 Philadelphia. Flyers press at 8 minutes. Ristolainen has a screenshot that was held. Frost with a near miss in close. Philly had its share of chances in this one. Power play for the Flyers, that's killed off. Delorier has a shot that's caught and held. Boquist with a rush chance, that was saved. Bratt's denied. Ersson, good in this game up to that point. He made 6 saves in that first period, but a lot of them were tough chances. So 2:27 left. The Flyers get a power play, that's killed off. So it's scoreless after the first. Second period, 2:59 in. Siegenthaler, screenshot, he gets the goal. And Miles Wood with the assist on that. So it's 1-0 for New Jersey. There's a press by the Flyers at 5.5 minutes. Allison fires one high. The Devils clear it out. The shots are 8-2 for the Devils, 8 minutes in. And then Hughes on a rush at 8:35 makes it 2-0. And we're going to start rolling here. The Flyers nearly answer. Sharangovich is then denied in close. We get a power play for the Devils. Palat was denied during that. That was killed off. Bastian couldn't bury one as the Devils press, but then at 19 minutes, so exactly 1 minute left in the period, Mercer gets the goal from Hischier, and it was a one-timer off of a turnover by Philly. So after the second period, it's 3-0 New Jersey. And in the third, it'd get a lot better if you're a Devils fan. I want to say a lot worse if you're a Flyers fan, but if you want them to get a better draft position, did it really get worse? So Devils press at 2.5 minutes. Hamilton fires one high in a rush, and then at 4:05, it's Hischier from Marino and Graves. At 5:15, Hamilton adds one from Siegenthaler and McLeod. Allison's then denied on a net drive as Philly's trying in vain to get on the board here. Hischier had a chance in close, that was held, and then Hughes adds another from Bratt and Sharangovich at 13:49, and then, because why not, the 7th goal comes from Bastian, Ball, and Tatar with the assist at 16 minutes. Now, it was pointed out by Ken Danico. They had a ceremony for him before a game earlier in the season. They had this ceremony here. The combined score of those 2 games, 14-1 for the New Jersey Devils. I hereby declare that the New Jersey Devils should have every night Ken Danico night. He comes out on the ice, he stands on the red carpet, he waves to the fans. It'll take 5 minutes. New Jersey will be 41-0 at home. And they'll win every game by at least 6 goals. So New Jersey wins this one easy, 7-0. They go to 39-15-5. Combined with the loss by Carolina, they're within striking distance of Carolina. So for the Canes, a 5-game winning streak didn't get them further ahead. For Philadelphia, 23-28-10 with the loss. I can imagine Tortorella not happy. 3 stars, Siegenthaler, Schmidt, and Heischer. I hope he doesn't have the phone number for Farabee's agent. Shots, 11-6 Philly in the first, 16-5 New Jersey in the second, 14-8 New Jersey in the third. Final shots, 36-24 in favor of the Devils. Power plays, Philadelphia 0-2, New Jersey 0-1. Special teams really not a factor. Hits, 17-10 Philadelphia. Ersson was left in there the whole time, 29 saves on 36 shots. Schmid, 24 saves for his first shutout. And there was no doubt that I'd have the Tony the Tiger magnet up here. I had it up here with 2 minutes left. It was like Philly's not scoring and the No Mercy magnet on the board. It's one of those rare twofers where you get both. So big game for New Jersey, and now I need to change boards. All right, so Tampa Bay and Detroit. Life's not fair, is it? If you're a Wings fan tonight, it's just not fair. This is one of those games where I kind of expected the announcers to say, hockey's stupid. There are times where I'm watching these games and, I'm watching a feed and you can tell they're upset about a goal against. And I wait for them to say, hockey's stupid. This game's dumb. I'm going home. So, Vasilevsky versus Husso. If there's a game for Detroit where I would totally understand Ken Daniels feeling that way, this might have been the one. Wings get a power play. It becomes a 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. The Wings were ahead 8-3 in shots 8.5 minutes in. Doesn't matter. At 9:04, point scores from Kucherov and Killorn. And he roofs it on a fast break. No chance for Husso there. Colton then has a shot that's held. There was a post for Kucherov as the Bolts press. Kubalik has a rush chance that's defended. Perbix has a rush chance that was saved in the final minute. So Tampa Bay is outshot by Detroit in the first period, and it's odd because Tampa Bay is ahead. Second period, Larkin has a wraparound that's saved. The Wings have the early jump. No Rasmussen for the rest of the night. He got hurt in the first period. He would not come back. Wallman breaks up a 3-on-1. Paul has a shot that deflects out. The Bolts get a power play. That's killed off. Foote has a screenshot that's saved. The shots are 10-2 for Detroit with 8 minutes left. But Vasilevsky decided, I'm not allowing any goals tonight, guys. I'm just not. Larkin is robbed in close. The Wings press with 5.5 minutes left. Suter was denied from the slot, because of course he was. 2:56 left. The Wings get a power play. There's a shoulder save on Perron. Kubalik has a shot that's saved. Sundqvist is denied. And after the power play is done with 7 seconds left in the period, it's one of those just killer goals. Kucherov scores from point. It's not fair that these guys are in Tampa. So it's 2-0 Tampa after 2, even though they've been outshot 32-12. It was like Anaheim and Carolina, with Tampa Bay being Anaheim and Detroit being Carolina. I don't know. Third period, Larkin has an early chance that's held. The Wings get a power play. Hronik with a chance that's saved. Then there's a shorthanded chance for Cirelli, which was held onto by Husso. Bolts didn't let him set up after that. Sider has a shot that's blocked. They do cycle late. There was a tip shot for Larkin that's held. They do kill that off. 5 minutes in, the shots are 6-3 for the Wings. Larkin really was all over the ice. Colton gets denied. The Bolts press at 6.5 minutes. There's another Larkin chance that's held. We get some pushing there as Detroit's starting to get kind of frustrated. His goalie's not allowing anything and not giving up many rebounds. We get a power play for the Wings. There was a shorthanded post for Killorn. And so they kill that off. No shots for Detroit on that power play. Getting more frustrated as the night went along. Fans call one after that. The ref doesn't. Might have been for the best anyways. That power play wasn't getting anything going. Perron has a shot that's blocked. Wallman then had a chance that was held. The goalie pull happens with 3:17 left coming out of a TV timeout. Larkin's denied from the slot, and then Killorn hits the empty net at 17:47 from Hagel. So your final score is 3-0 for Tampa Bay. They go to 37-17-4 with the win. Detroit had to be frustrated with this loss, 28-22-8. Combined with the win by Pittsburgh earlier, now Detroit's 1 point below the playoff line, but they do have games in hand on the Islanders, one of those teams they're chasing. 3 stars in this one, Vasilevsky, and Vasilevsky. It's Vasilevsky, Point, and Kucherov, but it should have been just Vasilevsky for all three. The shots in this one favored Detroit the whole way through. 12-9 in the first, 20-3 in the second, 13-6 in the third. Final shots 45-18 for the Wings. Power plays, Tampa Bay 0 for 2, Detroit 0 for 4. Each team had 9 hits. That doesn't seem right to me. I don't trust that number, but different buildings call them different. Vasilevsky saves all 45 shots for his 30th career shutout. So I guess he just looked at his career record and went, hey, I don't have 30 shutouts yet. I should get one of those tonight. All right, sure, Vassy. Husso saved 15 out of 17. No goal support for Husso. Can't really get mad at him in this one, can you? All right, next up. Calgary and Colorado. Oh my gosh, Colorado. They're really and truly back. I'm doing the power rankings tonight. Spoiler alert. Yeah, they've moved up. Markstrom versus Georgiev in this one. Early jump for the Flames. The Flames press at 2.5 minutes. They have some close calls. And then on their first shot, Colorado scores. This is what they do now. It's McKinnon from Nichushkin. And Rantanen had a post right after on the next shift. So they almost made it 2-0 right away. Newhook has a rush that's defended. And then he took that personal. So he scored on what was Colorado's official second shot. He scores from O'Connor and Cogliano at 8:22. So it's 2-0 Colorado on their first 2 shots. Flames press for an answer. The shots are 7-2 in favor of the Avs with 7 minutes left, as they do get some momentum going there. Flames had a 2-on-1 that's broken up. McKinnon has a rush chance that's saved. We get a power play for the Flames. It then became 22 seconds of 5-on-3. You have to score on the 5-on-3, but instead, after it's 5-on-4, Calgary takes a penalty. It becomes a minute and 25 seconds of 4-on-4. The penalty parades on. Everything's killed off. It's 2-0 in favor of Colorado after 1. Second period, post for Mangiapane and close. The Avs press at 2 minutes. They end up getting themselves a power play, and they score on it. It's Rantanen from Nichushkin and Byram at 2:42. Good cycle, buried. It was a tip in front by Rantanen. No chance for Markstrom on that one. Flames press to respond. Strong forechecking, though, by the Avs. Forcing turnovers, forcing the Flames to dump the puck up before they're ready, and there was always an Avs player up. It was amazing to watch. Shots are 6-4 for the Flames at 6 minutes. The Flames then had some pressure at 7 minutes. They end up drawing themselves a power play, but really strong penalty kill at this point. They kill that off. Kadri has a rush chance that's held. McKinnon nearly adds one. There's another turnover that leads to a McKinnon chance. You don't give the puck to Nathan McKinnon. Rodriguez has a rush chance that's saved. Lucic fought McDermott. That was a bad choice for McDermott. McDermott really pushed for that fight, and it was kind of sort of even, and then Lucic caught him on the button. When you see a guy get caught on the button and they're kind of weak in the knees as they go down, that's not good. That can be a concussion. So, 3:31 left. The Flames end up getting a power play. It was not related to the fight. And they score on this one. Toffoli scores from Anderson and Kadri at 17:20. So Calgary with a little bit of hope here, down 3-1. But they had some pressure and they were playing really well at this stage of the game. So the Flames press for another. And that Toffoli goal was from a sharp angle. I'm not sure how that went in other than it's Tyler Toffoli and he's the best Flame right now. Byram was denied on the last minute rush, but we're going into the third period with the score 3-1. And it stays that way until Malgin gets a beast mode goal. Malgin. At 4 minutes and 12 seconds from Manson, and I had a double take when I saw it was Malgin that was doing this. But, hey, Malgin seems to enjoy himself in Colorado. That makes it 4-1. Flames go to the power play. Dewar has a shot that's blocked as that comes to an end. The Avs get a power play of their own. Calgary did kill that off. They only allowed the one shot. The Avs go back to the power play. Pretty aggressive penalty kill by the Flames because they're down by 3. So they have to be aggressive. They do kill that off. Compher has a net feed that's picked off, but there really wasn't much out there for Calgary. Really suffocating defense. Strong forecheck. And just really solid all-around play by Colorado. They win this one 4-1. They go to 33-19-5. Remember like 6 weeks ago when it looked like Colorado might miss the playoffs? Yeah, that's long gone. Calgary 27-21-12 with the loss. This is a tough one. Colorado, a team they were chasing, and now they find themselves 4 points outside of the playoffs, and the teams that they're chasing have played fewer games than they have. So the 3 stars in this one, McKinnon, Nichushkin, and Byram. Shots 8-6 Colorado in the first, 18-11 Calgary in the second, and then 5-3 Calgary in the third. It just shuts right down. Final shots 29-22 for Calgary. Power plays, Calgary 1 for 5, Colorado 1 for 4. Hits 24-18 Calgary. Markstrom 18 saves on 22 shots. I don't know which of the 4 goals he was supposed to stop though. Georgiev 28 saves on 29 shots, but because Markstrom's save percentage is low, that's still going to be a conversation. I think we also need to have the conversation about the fact that when a team gets a chance against Calgary, it's usually a pretty darn good one, which can reflect on the defense itself. So there are some issues with Calgary right now that are keeping them below the playoff line, and we are less than 2 months from the end of the season, so there's not a lot of time to fix it. All right, next up, Dallas. I was sure Dallas was going to lose this. I'm not going to lie. Why would I lie about this? Because it's Vegas. They're in Vegas. And I figured, all right, Dallas is done. And then they weren't done. So we'll see whether or not this is the start of something. It's Ottinger versus Bressois, early edge for Vegas. They were leading in shots 3-0 at 3.5 minutes. Cotter was denied on a 2-on-1 opportunity. Smith to Amadio, near miss on a turnover. There's a press by Vegas at 6.5 minutes. It's all Vegas at this stage of the game. The first star shot was at 7:55. That was from Rope Hintz, and it was held. Kessel then had a net feed. That's picked off. Ben had a rush chance. That was saved. We get a power play for the Stars. It's 4 minutes. The problem is the Stars power play. The Stars power play has been abysmal for about a month now. It's been bad. So there's a shorthanded Carlson shot. That's blocked. Pavelski's denied. There's a save on Robertson as well. Fraze has a shorthanded chance that's saved. That's killed off. 1:51 left. Vegas gets a power play. Smith's denied. Vegas cycles, but that one's killed off too. There's only 9 seconds going to the second period. They didn't score in the first 9 seconds. Kessel has a rush chance kicked aside. The shots are 3-2 for Vegas. 3 minutes into the second period. Power play for the Stars. Pavelski has a slot shot that's held, and then it's a minute of 5-on-3. So party time. And Vegas fans weren't happy with that one. It's killed off because it sucks. I wrote that on the board. Now, they had shots. Did they have shots? Absolutely. Was Bressois good? Absolutely. Yes. Bressois was very good. But it's just, I had to write that up there because I'm like, yeah, of course Dallas didn't score on the 5-on-3 because it's Dallas's power play. It's their MO right now. I'm hoping that changes soon because you can't. There are teams that have won in the playoffs without a power play, but it doesn't feel like it's that often that it happens. Pavelski's been having a lot of problems too. He's been cold for a while. That's definitely related. Pavelski is a big part of what drives their power play when it's going. So the shots are 9-2 for Dallas at 8 minutes, and that 5-on-3 definitely drove some shots at the net. And then at 12 minutes, Amadio opens the scoring from McNabb and Theodore. Tips that one in. But to Dallas's credit, they answer. It's Johnston from Delandry and Ben at 14:02. Stars then press with 4 minutes left. Marchman has a shot that's saved. And in that second period, Dallas recorded the most shots that any team ever has in a period against Vegas. The fact they only came out with one shot tells you Laurent Bressois, pretty good goaltender. He's not too shabby. He wants to make the argument he should stay in the NHL, and Vegas is going to have to figure something else out. Third period, good back and forth early. There's a power play for Vegas. Smith has a shot that saved. The rebound's cleared. Theodore's denied as it comes to an end. 4 shots on that power play for Vegas. Delandry has a shot that's blocked. The Stars press. Pietrangelo nearly scores. And then there was a near miss for Amadio as well. So some chances. Shots are 9-8 Vegas with 9.5 minutes left. Hakanpää has a screenshot that's held. And then Eichel scores for Vegas from Stevenson and Marchessault at 15:23. Hintz then had a net drive that's held. The goalie pull takes place with 2:15 left. 1:57 left. There's an icing by Vegas. Vegas also made some questionable decisions when it came to clearing the puck and trying to keep it out of their zone. Taking shots at the empty net that were clearly going to get blocked and making it kind of a little bit easier for Dallas to prevent that empty net goal than it should have been. And so they reward Vegas for their generosity by scoring to tie it. It's Rope Hintz from Robertson and Ben at 19:22. Wires that one top shelf. And they reviewed it to see whether or not it was a good goal. I'm still not sure what they were reviewing. It was a goal. So we're going to overtime. And of course, Dallas in extra time, 4-12. Vegas in extra time is 9-5. In the overtime itself, Dallas 2-9. That record doesn't change today. So the Stars won the second face-off after Vegas won the first face-off. I was happy with the overtime too because both teams were trying to score. They weren't just trying to rag the puck and wait. They were actually trying to score and pushing the play. So Eichel sets up, he's denied, and that's after Seguin was denied. Seguin then wasn't able to end it on his next opportunity. Great save by Bressois. It might be the save of the year. I cannot describe it. Well, I guess I could. In that he makes the save here and then he kind of dives back. There's no way that he saw that he was saving the puck, but he kind of throws himself backwards, and I think it went off his shoulder. He wasn't even looking at the play. So Sagan's probably yelling, he's not even looking. So Carlson's then denied. Dallas sets up the other way, but in the end, Vegas, I think, was trying to set up and the clock ran out. So we go to a shootout, and the Stars win it in the shootout. It's Robertson and Hintz that score. So Dallas wins this one 3-2. Surprises me as well. 31-16-12 is the record now for Vegas. 35-18-6 with the overtime loss. They're still number one in the West, though. Vegas is now number one in the West. 3 stars, Robertson, Eichel, and Ottinger. So it's weird. Vegas was at home, and 2 of the 3 stars are for the other team. Shots in this one, 14-5 Vegas in the first, 22-6 Dallas in the second. Like I said, 22 shots is a record against Vegas. 16-13 Vegas in the third, and 7-3 in the overtime in favor of Vegas. So they were both going for it. Final shots are 43-43. Power plays, Dallas 0 for 4, because, yep. Vegas 0 for 2, the hits 38-33 Vegas. Ottinger saves 41 out of 43. Brossoit also saved 41 out of 43. So there you go. All right, last game of the night, and oh my gosh. So we had Mrazek versus Kakkonen eventually. Now I understand. Patrick Marleau, a legend, played the most games ever in the NHL. Start the ceremony earlier. Start it earlier. Because I'm watching the Chicago feed as they're getting more and more and more frustrated. And you can see they're just trying to fill time. They're like, okay, so we're waiting on puck drop. So puck drop, we're puck drop. Puck drop should be coming. When's the puck drop? So it wasn't until 7:59. Now remember, 7:08 is when these ones had their puck drop. And this was supposed to be a 7 o'clock start too. So if it's going to be a 7:59 puck drop, start it an hour earlier. Start the ceremony earlier. Just do it, because the Chicago announcers didn't sound happy. There was a lot of little passive aggressive comments, which I thought was pretty funny. So Mrazek versus Kakkonen, as I said, early Athanasiou shot saved. Gutman gets slammed into the boards, and then Gust. So Gust's a good story for Chicago. He gets signed. He comes up. He was going to retire last year, Rockford, and he's going to retire. He's done. They talked him into not retiring, and good thing. He gets the contract with Chicago, comes up, and he scores in his first shift. From Blackwell and Dickinson at 2:14. The lead doesn't last. At 4:17, Bonino scored from McDonald and Sturm. That was a rebound he buries. And then Cini scores. This is his 5th game with Chicago this year. It's his first goal. From Seth Jones and Kachuk at 5:12. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Cini played with the Devils not too long ago. That was a top corner shot on a rush. Shots are 7-5 for the Hawks at 7.5 minutes, but San Jose would tie it. At 10:52, it's Svechnikov from Sturm and Vlasic, and he did the Marleau pose, the celebration when he scored the goal. So after the first period, it's 2-2, and it looked like this might be a really sloppy, high-scoring game. It wasn't. Second period, teams exchange early turnovers. Gregor fires one high from a distance. Lawrence then fired one wide on a turnover. There's a power play for Chicago. That's killed off, just the one shot. Hawks go back to the power play. We had a fight between Murphy and Gregor. The Hawks come out of that with a power play. Ref is told that he sucks. I'm sure he didn't know. He probably appreciates being told he's going to work on it. That's killed off. Then there's a dog pile at the Hawks net. It almost scored. Asamont thought it was in. It wasn't. Shots are 10-7 for Chicago with 6.5 minutes left. The San Jose Sharks press with 4.5 left. Barabanov then has a chance that's held. Lawrence had a rush chance that was defended. We're going to the third period, still tied at 2. So no scoring in the second. Normally the second's where we see all the scoring. Third period, it takes 16 seconds. Domi on a rush. Max Domi absolutely having a great year for Chicago. From McCabe and Mrazek, Sharks look to answer. There's a post for LeBanc as the Sharks press. Sharks tie it on a delayed call, but it's an offside challenge. And when it's an offside challenge by Chicago, it's coming back because Chicago, they haven't been wrong yet. They haven't had a coach's challenge wrong yet. So that's going to reflect on Luke Richardson, but that means the guys that are, telling him, make that challenge, are always right. So that power play happens because it was a delayed call where San Jose scored. And it turns out Chicago's penalty kill kills that off. Things get punchy with 8 minutes left. The shots were 13-5 for the Sharks with 7.5 left. The Sharks press with 4 minutes left, and eventually too many opportunities are given. Erik Karlsson scores to tie it from Vlasic and Couture at 17:49. We go to overtime. Overtime featured a ton of shots, comparatively speaking, with most overtimes, but it doesn't solve anything. We have to go to a shootout. It's Kurashev that gets the winner. So Chicago, it's a 5-game winning streak for Chicago. They go to 21, 32, and 5. Their record's actually almost respectable. For San Jose, 18, 30, and 12 with the loss. So I'm sure the Chicago fans saying, why are we winning games right now? Why? Patrick Kane went home. Why? Patrick Kane not being on the team could absolutely mean that tension's out of the room, that feeling of, so how long is he going to be here? How does this work? Is gone, right? Taves now is out. Kane's out. These were the two guys we knew were going. I think it's going to help Chicago actually get better. It's just a matter of whether or not Domi sticks around. Now, I came up with the 3 stars because I wasn't waiting for the app. I came up with Mrazek because I thought Mrazek had a really good game. Kurashev because he gets the shootout winner. And Erik Karlsson because he got the tying goal. And he played a ton of minutes tonight. So, shots in this one, 15-9 San Jose in the first, 13-12 Chicago in second. I've had people say you should do the 3 stars, Shannon. I don't like doing 3 stars for all the games because then it's going to turn into, well, if you really watch the game, you wouldn't have picked this guy, or people saying, well, wait a minute, why would those aren't the 3 stars, so that's why I don't do it for every game. But yeah, 16-7 in the third were the shots for San Jose. So 15-9, 13-12 Chicago in the second, 16-7 San Jose in the third. In the overtime, 6-5 Chicago. So 11 shots in 5 minutes. Final shots, 48-35 for San Jose. Power plays, Chicago 0 for 4, San Jose 0 for 1. Hits 32-17 San Jose. Mrazek saves 45 out of 48. Kakinen saves 32 out of 35. There you go. All done for tonight. I apologize, this is really late. Let San Jose know. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you again soon.